Top of the day, everyone. It's about 4:40 in the morning. I'm sitting here having coffee and things like that, just relaxing. And I've been really thinking about my family and how they intricately work together to do all of this crazy foul ass shit to me. Try to hide the shit and then, you know what I mean? Not only hide it, but try to fucking take me out to cover up what the fuck they did. I believe that I wasn't even supposed to make it this long in life because from the rip, my mom did not like me. And the person that is my father, I can look at it from the situation to how wicked my fucking family is and how wicked his fucking family is, and just see how everything based off of their life and growing up and my life and my life growing up, how it has taken a tremendous toll on the masses, because I'm not the only one that is going through situations with family where you got family members that is jealous, envious, hateful, spiteful, vindictive, just all type of crazy ass shit, like thieves, murderers, all type of stuff. And what I can say is, it's like I learned a lot of lessons in my 41 years of life as far as not put my hands on stuff that don't belong to me, not cheating on the person that I'm with, not being physically, verbally, mentally, spiritually abusive towards the person or people that I encounter. Like, I had to learn how to control my emotions and my behaviors and how I move through life. And prior to me coming into this understanding, I just was living life carefree. Like, I still live my life carefree, but I have responsibility and restrictions on what I will allow and what I won't. I mean, what I won't allow in my life. So I'm getting better with learning myself and being okay with being with myself for right now, because I can't really say or expect somebody to love me the way that I want them to love me if I don't love myself. And I can't expect somebody to love me. I mean, I can't love someone the way they need to be loved if I'm not healed. So, just coming into that understanding, I think just me being more patient with myself and, having an understanding to how certain experiences of life has a big part in the family genealogy of how, you experience the things that you experienced growing up. And what I noticed is, based off of the circumstance and situation that I was in coming up, like I made choices and decisions based off of the experiences that I was having in my life. And I'm not ashamed. I don't regret anything that I did in my life as far as, being into drugs, fucking just it's all any type of fucking situation, and I really came to the understanding, had I not have went through those experiences, I wouldn't have knowledge on certain things in those experiences to be able to help me right now in this present moment. So for that, like I said, I'm truly grateful. God, source, creator, the universe, really, and my ancestors up there, when they say energy never dies. You can leave this place physically, but the energy of the person that, transition to the next part of their journey, they are here, they're real. And people, because we've been brainwashed so much throughout all of these generations and things like that, we are programmed to think a certain way that is conducive to the masses. And if you're not a carbon copy of what it is that's already been set in place and, been going on and being practiced for, generation, with the repetitive loop cycle of, poverty, death, jail, and hate crime, all kind of crazy things, you know what I mean? It's like we shouldn't even been experiencing this from the rip. We're divine beings, like from the beginning, you know what I mean? Like we got different species that is amongst us and stuff like that. Not every being that walks the planet is a divine being. And that's something that I've been learning in the process of me learning myself, and then, reflecting on a lot of interactions, whether it be family, friends, co-workers, relationships, people that I don't even fucking know, you know, and just the interaction with that alone, and being able to understand that, like, when you meet somebody, of course in the beginning it's all good or whatever, because like they say, we have representatives, and the people that have the representatives, like, if we're not willing to, like, expose who we truly are as far as at our core from the gate of interaction, and we put on like a air of whatever about us that is not truly us, it has people looking at you and viewing you differently, or making certain decisions or listening to other people, and it's just a whole lot of stuff. And instead of going to the person that shit is about, they'll just go behind the scenes and just start being cruel and malicious and shit like that. Like, I'll be pissed off about some shit that happened, and but I'll I'll let the person know, like, this is what's going on, X, Y, and Z. This is what's not working for me or whatever. And, sit back and give it time to see if the person, makes an attempt to change the situation. But if not, like, I'm at the point now where I'm not holding on to somebody that don't want to be held on to. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about like codependent hold on. I'm talking about love, understanding, cooperation, compromise, and just genuinely loving somebody unconditionally. Like, I really don't like to prejudge folks before, I get to know them. But sometimes a person, before you even say anything to somebody, you could feel their energy. So you just stay away from them. With me, from my understanding of who I am, is like, I'm so sensitive to a lot of people, energies and shit like that, because I really just be doing shit because that's what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to give good advice if I can. I want to, you know what I mean? Like, do whatever it is that I can to uplift somebody else in the best possible way from my own experience, to be able to give somebody else a different outlook or a different perspective on what they're going through in their life, for them to be able to, make some changes, some positive changes within themselves. I wish I had more people in my life coming up that would be able to do that for me. I've had some great, people that have given me some good advice, and then there are the greater times where I've had people that have given me shitty ass advice, and I've noticed that it was only to suit their own personal best interests. And because people that really, like, have been around me and have really studied me, they know that I will fucking help. I'll give the shirt off my back. I will, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that I could do. And I don't be trying to be boastful about it. Oh, I did this for so and so and such and such. But if you try to fucking disrespect me and play me the fuck out after I fucking tried to go, above and beyond to, be there and show care and compassion and concern, and you try to shit on me like I didn't show up for you, then I'll put you on fucking Front Street and just be like, yo, how the fuck is you coming at me X, Y, and Z way when blah, 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 blah? You know what I mean? I don't even like doing mine like that. But at the same time, like, I let so much shit slide for so many years with so many fucking people, to where it's like, it's not even worth addressing anymore. It's not worth me being around the people. It's not worth me getting on the phone and talking about them, especially if I know a motherfucker only want to get on the phone and talk and gossip about somebody else in a negative way, when I know that the person that's bringing the gossip about somebody else got a whole bunch of bullshit going on with them too. See, a lot of people that do know me or have, been in my space with me for extended periods of times, years or whatever like that, for the most part, y'all know that I will fucking be who the fuck I'm supposed to be regardless. But if a motherfucker fuck me over, like I said, I will get back. You know what I mean? I used to get back on some petty ass shit. I'm not living in a petty no more because that's not solving anything. It's not doing anything that's productive that's going to add on to nobody's life. It's not going to fucking help to grow and nurture somebody else. It's not going to have somebody looking at shit from different perspectives, you know. And then they get with other people. Like, this is the shit that fucking just, I've never really fucking liked the shit, and I never really will like the shit. Clicking up in big ass groups and shit like that to motherfucking try to come against one fucking person. Like, y'all is, I don't know who told y'all that that was the wave, but it's not. It's not the wave, because when you do shit with groups of fucking people and shit like that, and then especially if it's foul as fuck, ain't nobody got no loyalty. And in dishonor, there's no honor among thieves and shit like that. And I've learned that shit the hard way based off of my own personal experience. That's why in this moment now, I choose not to do nothing that's going to go against nothing, because I don't want nobody doing that shit to me. And like I said before, if I have wronged someone, if I have, caused whatever type of pain or hurt or whatever it is, I try to make amends. I honestly do. And then for the majority of the time, I'll fucking give it, like, I'll be away from a motherfucker for a long ass time. And then they'll call, or I'll see them, run into them, or however, or I'll be thinking about them and just shoot a text. Hey, what's going on? Long time no hear from. You know what I mean? Last time we had an interaction, if I was, if I did something too harshly, or whatever, I'll apologize. Like, yeah, I was dead ass wrong for that or whatever. But for the most part, like, I'm a forgiving person, and a lot of people know that about me, and that's why I've been being done the way that I've been being done for so long. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a victim. I wasn't, trying to see it for what it was, or truly aware. I mean, I was aware, but I was in denial. That's what it is. Excuse me. I was in denial about what it was that I was experiencing because of the people that were involved in it. And it kept me stuck for a long ass time in my fucking life. And I didn't get a lot of things accomplished, but it's never too late for me to, be where I'm at right now and doing what it is that I need to do, and building and working on what it is that I'm building and working on, you know. And that's what I've been pretty much focusing on. And at this point, I'm not in no fucking relationship with nobody. Like, I would love to have a relationship, but I don't want to be fucking trying to be in a relationship with somebody, and the person, I'm sorry, I'm looking for my phone stand. And the person that I'm with, it's like, I don't know, like, I don't want to be with a person that expects for me to be all up on my P's and Q's and on my A game and doing all this and doing all of that. And then while I'm doing that, doing my part in the fucking relationship, they behind the scenes, they fucking talking to other bitches or other dudes that don't, I don't know, and instead of, saying what is, what really is, a person that try to play on somebody's top, an emotion. I can speak on these things because I have done them in the past. Like, but it depends. It depends on type of relationship I'm in. If I'm in like a relationship, not a situationship, you know, like I said, it is what it is. But if I'm in an actual relationship, I respect and honor my relationships I don't be wanting to go out and be trying to see nobody else and do this and do that. This last relationship that I was in, I really thought that, we can work that shit out. And the thing that's crazy is I started fucking with him in the early 2000s, like 2004, 5, 6, some shit like that. And he winded up ghosting me and fucking with my friend Coco. And that shit really hurt me because I really liked the guy. And then 10 years later, right after right as I'm dealing with the situation with the paternity issue that I've talked about previously, um, he came back into my life, like, and we started dating again. And we was going to the hotels and stuff like that, hanging out on the weekends. I know he got a job and he got children and stuff like that, so I'm being understanding to a whole bunch of that, type of stuff that's going on in his life. But when he started like trying to come at me and talk to me like I wasn't shit, or just saying little slick shit and throwing little low jabs, and then he would do shit to where I would be knocked out sleep because I wake up early in the morning, but I'll go to sleep early, and being on the phone texting other broads, I love you and this and that, all hours of the night, just being fucking straight up sneaky and shit, like, and I don't know. The last time that I went to like the last time that I went to his house was February 3rd, 2018. The day before that, like, I was supposed to no, yeah. I was supposed to go on a Friday to go and spend the weekend with him. What happened was I wasn't able to get there because my fucking cousin, I don't know what the hell happened, whether she actually wanted to take me to where I needed to go. Not the she I asked her to take me to the bus stop. And instead we winded up turning around on the highway, and I didn't go because my cousin started tweaking the fuck out, saying about this and that and all this other shit. And so I had called them and let them know, like, listen, I'll be there tomorrow because I wanted to go see my grandma in the nursing home, and it was my nephew Sheik's birthday. So I took me and my son. We had got on the bus or whatever. My son went in my place to Sheik's birthday party, and I went to hang out with old boy. As I get to his house, he like fully dressed, like he was about to go out and shit. He actually, I wasn't paying attention to it then, but now that I sit back and I reflect on it, he looked a little bit annoyed that I was there because the whole while, he like, what's the point of you trying to come? You only gonna be able to stay that one day and then you gonna have to go right back home. But the thing about that, what was so crazy and how he was so adamant and upset about how I was just going to be there and I really wasn't coming there to see him and all of this other shit. Like, I don't know. But when he was coming to see me, he would come Friday night. We go check into the hotel, stay in the hotel all day Saturday, and then Sunday we leave. So wouldn't that be like the same damn thing? Like, I didn't understand like why it was such a big problem or whatever. But I had winded up going to go see my grandmother. Well, we was getting it in first. And I told him like, yo, you keep on wanting to have sex with me, like I'm gonna be too drained to go see my grandma. And he got an attitude or whatever. And then I just stopped because it became a turn off to me, like how he was treating me. So I winded up getting up and going to go see my grandma anyway. And when I got back to his house, I was trying to go put my stuff down that I had in my hand, and I didn't take my shoes off at the door because it was an unconscious thing. It wasn't like I was intentionally, trying to disrespect him or anything like that. And because I was already upset before I had left. But when I came back, I came back with a whole different energy on me. So I came back to go put my stuff in the room, in his bedroom, and I didn't take my sneakers off. And then he's like, "Yo, take your fucking shoes off at the door. Don't be walking through my shit." Da, 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 da. I'm like, "Who? Why you even have to say it like that? Like, you don't talk. Why is you talking to me like that? You don't even gotta talk to me like that. I would take my shoes off, but you don't have to come at me like that. Like, you talking to me like I'm a piece of shit under your shoe." So I got upset about that shit. And then he just kept going with it or whatever. We in the bedroom. I'm standing there trying to take my stuff off to get in the bed. And he's steady sitting there with the bullshit or whatever. And then eventually, next thing I know, he gets up and he come behind me and he got me like this. And I'm sitting there like, "Yo, get off me." I sidestepped him and I went like this and pushed him, and he fell into his little stand thing that he had. And when he got back up, this motherfucker slapped me. And that was it. I've grown so much from that time until now because my thought was go in his kitchen and get a fucking knife and poke this motherfucker. No, he didn't just put his fucking hands on me. Like, I told him when we got back together in December, after them 10 years or whatever, not being together, what would make me leave you is you cheating on me or you put your fucking hands on me. That's what I said. And or take anything from me because you don't have to do that. I told him that shit from the beginning. And then February 3rd, 2018 was the last day that I went to go see him or saw him physically anymore. I talked to him on the phone and stuff like that, after the fact, trying to get an understanding of what the fuck was going on, and still didn't get like the proper answers and shit like that. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll just fall back. Boom. So I eventually wind up moving to Colorado. And I talked to him when I moved into my apartment and stuff like that. And he was shocked that I had a place. But because I was going through what I was going through with my family, I was staying with my mom at the time and shit like that. He had wanted me to come move in with him, but like I had expressed to him when I did was able to talk to him, I expressed to him like I wouldn't have felt good going to go live with him and I had my children and I didn't have a job. And he lived in the area where we had previously moved from. He lived in like the Neptune Asbury area. And it was like while we was in Neptune Asbury residing, I couldn't really get jobs and stuff like that. So when he suggested that I come to move with him, I didn't want to go live in Neptune. I didn't want to go back to Neptune. Like if we would have been trying to move somewhere else, that would have been something totally different. But I didn't want to move back to Neptune, and I damn sure didn't want to be back around the same people, and knowing that in the midst of my absence, he was still doing what he was doing, and then I come there trying to be with him, and he got all this other secret shit going on in the background still. So anyway, while we was talking on the phone and shit, he was asking me about how I was out here, about the dispensaries and this and that and this and that. So I'm talking to him, telling him or whatever. I ain't think nothing of it. All I know is later, it was either later on that night. Yeah, it was later on that night. My fucking phone rings, and it was this broad on the phone, and she asked me, was I fucking him? Was I fucking Bleak? I was like, the last time I had sex with him was February 3rd, 2018. And I'm asking her, like, okay, well, who are you? And she said they had just had a baby and, they lived together, they got a home together and all this other stuff. So I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I'm talking to the lady. She wasn't nasty and I wasn't nasty with her. It wasn't no need to be. But like I had told her when I had talked to him, he was saying, because I was like, oh, I would love for you to come visit. He was like, no, not come to visit, but come live here. And I was like, oh. okay. It caught me off guard. So, but I didn't think nothing of the conversation that I was having with him. And I did not know that he was going to go to that house and tell that woman that he had a job opportunity over on the West Coast. She said, yeah, he came. He told me that, he had a job and this and that, where you over on the West Coast and this and that. And I'm like, wait a minute, I just talked to him not too long ago and he was asking me about, how it was out here, how, was the rent expensive and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, nah, it's actually pretty doable over here, you know what I mean? And it's way, way, way more jobs than where the heck you're at. So I guess, by me telling him that, he went back and told the chick that he was living with, like, he tried to do some sunshine shit. Yeah, so and so, yeah, I'm not coming home tonight. What the fuck? So, and I was shocked by it because I was like, wait a minute, did this motherfucker really try to dupe me? He already duped me, but he trying to dupe somebody else. But at the same time, like, I can understand like what the hell, like the confusion and shit like that. But at the same time, like I had text him one time, like I don't even know whether you want to be with me because you want to be with me or if you're trying to run from your problems. Like I remember I text him that I still had a fucking text message like, are you doing this because this is something that you really want or is it something that you're trying to run from? Because I would rather you take care of whatever you got to take care of, like take care of your responsibility of what you have to do. Like I'm not trying to be caught up in no crazy ass shit, especially having no broad called my phone. Like she was dead ass serious. I ain't mad at her. She wanna know what she had questions. So, whatever. And like I said, she wasn't a nasty young lady or nothing like that. And there was no need for me to be nasty or, hateful or nothing like that towards her because she was asking me questions and I was answering her damn questions. And I told her, like, no, I haven't slept with this man in some years, like 2 years or whatever. And matter of fact, when was that? Yeah, it was in 2020. So, and the last time I had slept with him was in 2018. So, I don't know what the fuck. That was a little weird. It hurt that shit had, ended how it had ended and shit like that. But at the same time, like, I had to fucking deal with that shit by myself. I had to really just, accept some things and keep pushing forward in my life. I don't have no malice towards him or, wish no ill on him or none of that shit. Like, that's just not what the fuck is going on. I was upset that the shit happened the way that it did, but at the same time, it's like, what was the point? Cause we was on again, off again, on again. Like I said, from the early 2000 type shit, but it wasn't no whole like long ass relationship in the beginning. Like we were just going to hang out on weekends and shit like that, going out to eat and stuff. And then, like I said, 10 years after that, it was like we was doing the same thing. I'm talking about like making plans and what I wanted to do and this and that and this and that. And he was saying pretty much that all his children is over there on the East Coast, and I had to be understanding to a lot of things. Like I said, like I can't make nobody want to be with me because nobody can't make me want to be with them. And I don't want to be tricked, coerced, or, made to feel like if I don't be with somebody, like I don't want to be in no relationship out of guilt. And I don't want nobody being in a relationship with me out of guilt. I want to be in a relationship with somebody that I can truly love and they can truly love me the way I love me and the way they love themselves, you know? I ain't knocking nobody. I done tried some things in my life. I could say that I've had an experience. It's a lesson that I've learned, and I'm getting better with knowing that each experience that I have in my life is just a part of my soul's journey and my growth, to keep continuing to be the highest potential of myself. And I wish that for everybody else. Like, but for people that's like trying to come against me and secretly plot and be doing all of that other shit. Like, y'all could stay where the fuck y'all at with all that dumbass shit. Like, and if Adrian had anything to do with helping my family set me up, the only thing I could do is say I hope that it was worth it for you. Um, like I said, I never would want to take anything from you or none of that shit. Like, I haven't taken anything from you. I haven't made you feel like no type of way. I remember I said that I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I remember saying that. And that was because my stupid ass all fucking hung up on somebody else that I was trying to fucking make shit right with and try to get the paternity test because of fucking past shit that I fucked up on. I was trying to right my wrongs, and in the mix of it all, you know what I mean? Like, I just wound up being in the situation that I'm in. I still have love in my heart. I still have hope that love will be in my life, like a person outside of myself, because I do have love and I am love, and I'm understanding to that. So when it comes to me waiting on the right partnership, I can do that. But in the midst of me waiting on the right partnership, I still have things to do. I still move forward. I still have responsibilities and stuff like that. So I try to do the best that I can. I'm a single parent, single mom or whatever, and he is a single dad. He had one child